Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Cool. Hello. Buenos dias. I feel pretty good today. It's a Sunday. And usually my Sundays are very relaxing and just a breath of fresh air. So I feel really good right now. I feel really relaxed. Yeah. So welcome to what is this, the third episode, I believe. Today I have notes that are all over the place, but I'm gonna try to work with them. Today we are gonna be talking about what happened to seem to be, I think I said that right. What happened to seem to be I feel like the more I repeat it, it's gonna sound weird. But anyways, what happened to seem to be the topic of the week in my barber chair, which was, I wonder if y'all can guess it. I'm kidding. It was men feeling pressured to settle down, men feeling pressured to marry, men feeling pressured in an already like settled down, they're already married, they're still feeling pressured. And I was kind of just, I didn't think much about how I was going to start this, but I did ask God to lead the way. So I want to start by saying that I feel like in all the relationships of the world right now, we're not doing things right. There's something going on here. My laptop is low battery. That is not good. Let me see if I can do the power save mode and make this last us until I can finish my point here. Okay. We're doing something wrong. I feel like in the ideal world that God wants us to live in, and I mean God of light, because there's many gods, there's many lords, there's many people, there's many, like, I don't know, we call it all kinds of stuff, spirits and deities, and there's a lot of things that want praise. But to me, God is the lightest of the light, the most divine, the one we all aspire to be, if you're on the quote unquote right path. And if we were all on that path, we wouldn't be, I feel, well, I don't know. This is a very curious, I do dive into these topics with curiosity because I don't know everything. If anything, the fact that I don't know everything makes me so passionate about these topics, because we're all struggling with them, and I'm hearing these repetitive messages and I'm just like, oh my gosh, we've been dealing with this for years. So that's why I want to bring him up. But I feel like we're in the most ideal world that God wants us to live in. We're not struggling in our relationships like this. We're not so lonely as men and women. We're not blaming each other for everything. So let me see my notes. It's funny because I put pop the balloon challenge. The dating world is very different now. I feel like even in like some people who are settled down and married, like in a monogamous relationship, I feel like you can definitely pull through But even then, right? Even they're trying to figure out how to operate, excuse me, how to operate in their relationship in a healthy way. And to kind of reference the Pop the Balloon challenge, I feel like not only is it unhealthy to like consume that kind of content, because you're constantly training yourself to, when you're dating, I feel like you're constantly training yourself to look somebody up and down without naturally having a human interaction, which is something that I feel like we've struggled with ever since social media has really skyrocketed. And maybe it's something that we struggled with before and I just don't know it, but I can only speak from my experience and what I see other people experience. But yeah, that kind of content, I feel like for a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little like mad at it. Like I would be a little um what is it called, like negative Nancy, or not negative Nancy actually, but I feel like those kind of people that like that kind of content would look at me that way, like a party pooper, because I there was a point where I couldn't even giggle at it because I would just like I would see right through how this stuff is like really programming us, and it's not, it's keeping us away from how we're truly meant to be. And it's many different things. It's not just Pop the Balloon. But you get what I'm trying to say. Though that kind of content is just trying to get clickbait, and it's trying to get the most views. It's trying to get the most they get the most views out of people talking sugar honey iced tea to each other, you know? Like they get the most content when we're like mm, what is the word? Like when they're putting each other down, pretty much. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in. You know, we're more likely to give a negative review than a positive one. We're more likely to um, talk like we're. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Trolls, but this is. I don't know why I always say this, because my oldest watched Trolls like so many damn times when he was a baby. But anyways, there's this Bergen town, which is like the Bergens and like the evil ones that want to get the trolls pretty much aura and energy, because they're so happy and they're so light, and the Bergens are always negative and walking around with like stomping their feet, and clearly they need the happy energy. But anyways, I feel like we're operating like Bergens sometimes. Like it's not fun to be here sometimes. And we have to constantly realign ourselves because of the world that we live in today. I have to constantly realign myself every day, remind myself who I want to be, because unfortunately there's not that many examples. There's not, the mainstream music doesn't align with the kind of woman that I want to be. The even most podcasts, most music, most people out here, like you really have to dig for this stuff, or maybe you don't, maybe you just have to look at things differently sometimes and realign yourself so you can point out the good in your everyday life. um okay, what am I gonna follow that up with? I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do question my English. I speak a lot of English here in Houston. I rarely speak Spanish, maybe to my kids. Hold on. But if you guys ever hear my dad talk, he just be putting shit together, and you better pick it up. So if you see me do that, pick it up. You know English. You know it enough. You know it enough to know what the fuck I'm saying. Anyways, okay. Did I write anything back here? No. Just to kind of side note on the dating, to my clients that are dating, I've noticed, and not even just my clients, I actually had my best friend call me, and she was like, it's funny because we all do this, and I remember doing it when I was dating. She was like, I can't text him back that fast. And she was like, she was just saying like, I waited like 2 hours, or I went to the store first, like it's narratives like that. And it's funny because one of my clients, the day before yesterday, he was like, I feel like she just be waiting to text me back because she don't want to seem thirsty, or she don't want to seem that into me. And that is just so weird, like that push pull, like. And I feel like as women, we are trained to be that way, to be trained to like not care about a man, which is partially healthy, like this whole advice that we get from like the sprinkle lady, um gurus, like these women, they're trying to express um matriarchy at its finest in the best way possible in this world that we live in. And I hope I'm currently still trying to express, because it can be very hard. You guys have to think about it. For example, I believe that women, they're born gems, just because we're women, just because we come from the creator, which is not the my gosh. Well, and you see, it's so complicated because you can easily be misunderstood. Clearly, we are collaborating with God. We cannot do this without God, okay? We When I say the creator, I mean the creator of humanity. The feeling like God did create humanity. Anyways, the one that birthed humans, okay? Woman created this population. That's a better word. Woman created this population. And when you're born a woman, if you want to, you can be a part of continuing to create humanity. And that is so weird. That's crazy to me. Like, what? Like, I just have 2 kids, 2 children, but I incorporated to expanding um human race. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I feel like women are born gems, right? And because of that, in a healthy, ideal world, we are always ready for marriage. Now, not at 8 years old, not at 14 years old. Clearly, that's not the ideal world. That's a perverted world. That's an over sexualized world. That's a world where we don't take women's rights and like ability to choose for themselves with respect. In the ideal world, when we allow a woman to marry whenever she wants, marry whenever she feels ready in her heart, and a woman is already, when a woman is never has to like learn how to operate in her most feminine way, and she's born that, and and her mother was born that way, and she never has to learn these new things because her mother already taught her the ideal, most beautiful, most light, most divine world. I'm trying to get you to imagine it with me. A woman doesn't have to learn how to be a wife. She was born one. She was born with that gem, which is why a woman can be a wife her whole life. Her whole life. She can be a wife at any point that she wants to, because that's how much value she carries inside of her. A man, a boy, they experience a different, we're operating differently in this world, in this earth. And I brought the gem up to say that we don't respect men enough when they're young. And because of that, now we have men that don't want to settle down, that don't want to marry, that don't want to Some, there's a spectrum. Some just simply don't want to marry but still want to do married things, like take care of a woman. They still want to live with family, clearly have kids. They want to do all of it, but they just don't want to sign it on paper, right? And I think maybe it's their way to feel protected from going all in, even though you're all in already. My back hurts a little bit. Give me a second. Um, yeah, I think the way we both men and women, the way we are being molded when we are growing up, it I think we are underestimate how much we are really truly being programmed and molded as we are growing up. So one of the biggest things that I feel like we're failing boys in is, and this is for both actually, but I feel like we don't talk about it enough for boys. And in turn, because we're not talking about it enough, it actually makes it worse because there's no awareness. But we over sexualize boys a lot, to the point where we expect them to want sex at a young age. You have no idea how many men have been in my chair and told me about their very early sexual experiences with an older woman. And it was meant to be cool. It was meant to be like, oh, I lost my virginity. No, baby, that was grape. That was grape. And such a weird topic because I feel not to like kind of, I mean, is this off track? No, not really, because we got to talk about it. But I was going to say, not to get off track or anything, but I feel like perception matters a lot with how we receive what we experience when we're kids. If we're constantly telling boys, if we're constantly reminding them, you're supposed to like women because we don't want our sons to be gay. I don't know why my nose is running. That's like a little seed of hypersexualization. Like, boy doesn't even know if he wants to play the guitar or the saxophone. There's so many other topics, but we're so involved in this sexual realm in an unhealthy way, because this isn't the ideal world that we're supposed to live in. Sex is healthy. We're not operating in a healthy way right now. So you are constantly giving these boys messages, and they're growing up to be adults that don't want to settle down. If they do settle down, more than likely they feel lonely. They feel purposeless. They feel I don't know. Nothing else is coming up, but I hope that I'm like giving this message in a good way, because it's not the easiest thing to deliver. Let me see what else I wrote down here. And it doesn't help that actually a lot of men, like, I can sit here and tell women, well, just don't pressure him. Just ignore him. Which, because of the very polluted world and wicked reality that we're experiencing, unfortunately, it works. And that is the downside of all of this. I can give you this beautiful message. I can say, just be of light. Just have godly behavior. And you still have to go out into that world and deal with, I don't know, what would you say? The media. We still have to deal with the media not aligning with that behavior. So when you are trying to operate in this frequency, you have to go against the grain. You have to hopefully walk so your grandkids or your kids can have a safer world and run. They can run, and then their grandkids are gonna be able to sprint, and hopefully we don't repeat all this stuff all over again. Okay. Let me see what else I have in my notes. Oh, when I wrote down about men, women being born like as a gem, it's I had seen a TikTok. I'm not even gonna lie, I did not digging into some research. I saw a TikTok of a guy, and he was talking about how in ancient tribes, um, in ancient tribes, and he named the tribes. I don't remember them. But he was talking about how men were like, there was a ceremony for men where they were crowned whenever they were operating most like women, because women are very, they carry that innate wisdom. And it's funny because I saw another TikTok video that explained it very differently, and it's pretty much because our organs are what is it called, like the base of our energy center, which is our private parts. um I hope I'm able to post this. Anyways, our energy centers, which is clearly the most vulnerable parts of us, is inside of our body. So we're able to be in tune with them more. I had never heard nothing like that before. Versus men, clearly it's outside of them. So I feel like they're very much capable, but they're on a different journey than us. Men come here and they have a different story. We do not have the same life as men. We do not. In the equality, right? I don't know if we're supposed to. I don't know if we're doing something wrong. Are we supposed to have different roles? Are we too fixated on what we're supposed to be doing as like men and women? I don't know. I think we are, but are we looking at it enough? But then again, this is just an episode. This is just something that I had in my mind. And you're going to shut this off. I'm going to shut this off. And I'm going to have to go out there to the world again. See on social media that my people are being mistreated. Seeing on social media that black people are continuing to be mistreated. We don't even know. This is very random, kind of off topic, but I was on the phone with my brother the other day, and we used to get on Omegle and just talk to random ass people. Anyways, this was a long time ago. I'm talking about, I don't even know if I was in high school yet. Was I? Yeah, I was in high school. I think I graduated high school. No, I was in high school. Anyways, anyways, I don't even remember this, but he brought up, hey, you remember when them that boy or the guys, whatever, they were making fun of me, or they actually, my brother was making fun of me because they was like, you look Indian. And at the time, unfortunately, because of the way I was raised, that was an insult. That was an insult, unfortunately. And I didn't even know my roots then. I didn't even know who I was. So, and I always like, okay, my skin complexion looks a lot lighter, but growing up, baby, I was a dark girl. I was one of the darker, okay? Estaba morena. Y that is what it is, okay? Anyways, I say that to say that's how unaware we are. Whenever you say, "Oh, I have Indian," bitch, you are the Indian. You are the original. You are like we are so out of touch. So I say that to say that we leave this this good mental state, and we leave out to the world, and we forget who we are. And it's so easy because everybody else is doing it. So I encourage you to go against the grain and try to remind yourself. And I'm not going to lie, it's not easy. Just cuz I'm doing it doesn't mean I'm winning. One of my clients told me that, and it just stuck with me. He was talking about how he's trying to do social media less, and he told, "Yes, I have a butter knife to mix my cacao. Mind your business." He was telling me about how he was taking this social media break, and in sentences later, he was like, "Just because I'm doing it doesn't mean I'm winning." And that was so powerful to me because he's still doing it. Oh, bruh. I always do this. Okay, I'm covering it with my hair. Anyways, yes. Do it even when you're not winning. Take that L today if you need to. Wake up tomorrow. Try it again. Okay, that the AM didn't work. 12 o'clock, you got a break. Take 5 minutes. Reset to yourself. Try again. Bro, this is I'm not gonna lie, this is life or death. Probably not right now, but for your grandkids it will be. For your great grandkids it will be. We have to operate better in order to save humanity. We have to save this, bro. Cause if not, we're just gonna be a part of like war. Either in a smaller scale or in a bigger scale. Doesn't matter. Anyways, let's see what other notes I have if I missed anything. I put blaming the fairy tale we are fed since child. Women being, and it's not only women, it's both men and women. And I blame these Disney movies because why did you tell me that somebody was going to come pick me up and just like know me like if they've known me for years? You lied to me. You lied to me. Not only know me, like be patient with me. I mean, first of all, I'm in a happy relationship, okay? But we're not all perfect. There's people who are aligned with you, who love you. But even then, the feathers are going to be ruffled up. There's going to be days where you don't understand each other. There's going to be days where you have to talk through some things because y'all are clashing. That is normal. Them Disney movies don't show that. They don't show that. They think that everything is just peaches and cream. And we can sit here and say, well, they're not ready for that conversation. Okay, then take that shit off. Remove the movies. Let's learn how to build a house real quick. Let's learn how to fix the toilet. Why are we having these kids obsess over relationships at such a young age if it's not the appropriate conversation then? Damn. How do women behave when they want to be chosen? I don't even know why I wrote that down. And I think I wrote that down because when men come to my chair and they tell me, she's pressuring me to marry. My gosh, how much percentage? 1%. Okay, I'm going to try to wrap it up as much as possible, and I'm going to continue this conversation because that was my last low note anyways. Actually, okay, brightness down. God, please be with me. Let me finish this message, please. When men come to my chair and they tell me that they feel pressured and they feel like, no, we've been dating for 6 months, but all she wants me to do is bow down to one knee and marry her already. That's because of this programming. That's because of all of the stuff that we're fed, and we're hyperfixating over the wrong things in life. And when a woman wants to be chosen by these men that aren't ready due to the same programming that they're experiencing on their end, not only it's like double-edged sword, right? Because I'm currently, let's just say or a woman is currently not being chosen by a man that she wants to be chosen from, if she is doing the right thing, right, she's going to reflect, she's going to be aware, she's going to say, maybe right now isn't the time. And it can mean many different things, but she knows that it's not today. Okay, she lets it go. She can still be herself. But unfortunately, that's not the world or the ideal response, right? Not the ideal, but the most common response is a woman then puts on a mask and she says, I am going to do anything to get this man. And what does the question is, how do women behave when they want to be chosen? You know the answer, girl. How do you behave when you want to be chosen? And what do you lie in? This one thing makes us liars. It makes us show up inauthentically, and to the next man, to the next man, to the next man. They're constantly receiving these kind of women with masks and that have no say so in bed, and they're just going with whatever the man is saying because we have shut our voice off to be chosen, to role play that fairy tale that we keep being fed. That is not true. Baby, you have power. You have power. You have power. And you have to stop. Take that shit off. Little by little, okay? Because some of us, you know, we realize and we're like, oh shit, how did I get here? Some of you women are in 20 years marriages and are like resentful towards your partner, towards yourself, because you put a mask for that man to choose you. And now he chose you, and now you have to live with the lie. You have to live with the lie. And unfortunately, that is a truth for a lot of people. And that's just not women. That's not just women. I don't want to just say that. Wait, did my laptop die? No. It did. But the audio can still pick it up here. It might sound shitty, but it's worth the message. It's both men and women. We're both masking. We have to learn how to take that shit off. Because that's not of God. I saw this, TikTok. Y'all are gonna learn very quick. I love TikTok. I saw this TikTok and this girl said, if you were more like Jesus, you would be a rebel. And that shit stuck with me because I used to, even if I would have said, oh, I believe in God and I didn't mean it right, whatever. Who I am now, even though I still have a lot of, I work through the integrity of things and knowing what's right and knowing what laws to follow, because Jesus was a rebel because these man-made laws go against spiritual laws, go against the law that is can't be changed, right? Which is the spiritual laws. The man-made laws can be changed, can be tampered with, cannot be followed. You might be dealing with the repercussions, right? You go to jail, or you don't go to jail because they're man-made, baby. They're not true. But that spiritual law, you better follow it. You better follow it when it's calling you, when it's knocking on your door. Because, yeah, it's true. It's real. That's the most real thing. And in order to follow that, you have to be a rebel. Ruffle up some feathers. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm so happy that I did this. I wasn't going to because I woke up a little late. But right now it should be like 7:30 a.m. now. I'm gonna start my Sunday cleaning. I hope that you guys receive this message the way I intended to deliver it, even though it was kind of all over the place. Yeah, let me know what y'all think, and I love y'all. Bye bye.